Hey, missed you the last missionary meeting. I think you might have been sick. Were you sick for a while? Or your kids or family or something? Yeah, I knew. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, and maybe everybody will be ready in a few minutes. I just want to welcome all of you here to tonight's service. Glad that you're able to be here, and I think this is a wonderful crowd for a mission meeting and Sunday night, and I thank you for that. And while Terry's still standing, I'm going to ask him to pray for this service. Would you do that? Amen. Well, tonight, usually when we have a mission meeting, we always focus outside of the country. Tonight, we're going to be focusing in the United States and actually to something very close to us and something many of you have heard about, know about. But let me read this to you. We are to be His hands, His feet, His heart, and His mission everywhere we go. But tonight, the heart of our mission is the Appalachia. Our call is to be Christ's love in action in the flooded areas of the Appalachians. Many of you have heard about the flooding in the Appalachian area. How many of you have heard about it? Well, several of you sent me either text or, message and said, hey, would you talk about that? It's local. Is there anything we can do to help? So we're going to talk about it. And then there's going to be ways possibly, if you want to help, that we can do that. And first, I want to welcome Dawn Temple. It's been a long time since I've seen her. Most of you know her, remember her as a little girl. And I want to tell you something, Sunday school teachers, if you ever get discouraged, her Sunday school teacher, Sandy Delph at that time, gave her a Bible. She's carrying it right there with her. She had wrote in it. So never underestimate the work that you do. You may not ever see the results. You may see them, and poor Sandy didn't get to see that, and I was thinking about that today, but she would be so happy. So you do make a difference, teachers. Keep being patient with some of them kids. Keep praying. God works even when we can't tell He's working. So I did want to mention that. And she said next week she may bring her grandparents, and many of us would be glad to see them. We haven't seen them for years, since they moved to Florida for me. So anyway, I think one reason so many of us have an interest in this Appalachian area is because you know Dwayne Mills. And if you know Dwayne Mills and you know his dad pastored Dwight, was it Dwight? What was his name? Or Garrett Mills pastored at the Seymour Nazarene Church years ago. And if you knew him, I know some of the Seymour Church was up there, Ruthie Sanders and the lawyers, and anybody else were pastored under them. Oh, Sid Wells. So many of you know them. So when we talk about Dwayne, you know him. I know who he is. I don't know him personally, really. But I do remember when the Mills were at Seymour, they were phenomenal people. You could tell the love of God shone through them. Their church was, just really vibrant. They cared about people and stuff. So maybe you'll find out a little bit of something new that I didn't know as we study this lesson. We are going to focus on this mission that's close to home. Most of the time you never hear about us talking about local, do you? But this is about as local as you can get without it being just right here. The Appalachian Reach Out, that's what it's called. So if I say ARO, you will know what I'm talking about. It's this Appalachian Reach Out, because I don't know if I'll be able to say it every time. They are in partnership with the Turkey Creek Nazarene Church and have been in ministries for years in the Appalachian Mountains. Located on the state line in Kentucky and West Virginia, in Martin County, it was in April I did not know this, it was in April 1964 that President Johnson at that time stopped in Martin County and declared war on poverty. Martin County was and still is one of the poorest areas in the United States. Now get this, 16 of the top 100. Did you guys realize they were that poor of a county? Nobody, some of you did. Have you been down there? I knew you said yeah. So I didn't, I've never either, but I am going to show some videos tonight. I thought, we got access, and I'm going to let it tell some of the stories tonight. But anyway, it was then, and supposedly it still is now. But we like to feel that God has called us, and when I say we, I'm talking about Dwayne Mills. A lot of this is from him. I went to his Facebook page because I didn't know a lot of stuff going on, with them lately, and I had never befriended him anything, but I could still read some of his stuff. But we feel like God has called us to make a difference in the lives of broken, lost, and hurting people. But you know what? His mission is no different than any of ours, is it? That should be the mission of all of us. And I thought Pastor's message this morning was so good, and I thought it actually went along good with this message tonight. So it's through the Compassionate Ministries Center of the Appalachia Reach Out and the local church of Turkey Creek Nazarene. Now, doesn't that sound like a really poor country church of Turkey Creek Nazarene Church? And we are carrying out this mission to be his hands, to be his feet, his heart, and his mission. In so doing, we are being Christ, love in action, Dwayne said, and I think all of us will agree with that. Okay, let me make sure I got all my notes here together. Justin's going to help me a lot too here in a minute. Ministry happens every day at the ARO and the TNC, the church and the mission. There are a number of ways to come and participate with these ministries as we seek to be the kingdom of God here on earth. Through our daily work, our daily lives, we minister through education. This is him talking what they do down there, and you'll see a little bit more of that on the video here. Addiction recovery, food pantry, visitation, home projects. They support local resource district directors in each county school. They get involved in civic organizations, local churches, not just Nazarene churches, I always said we're all in this together. So it doesn't matter. God's not going to say, oh, you're a Nazarene, you can get into heaven. Oh, you're whatever, you can't get it. It doesn't work that way. It's our personal relationship with Jesus Christ, no matter what denomination we serve him through, isn't it? So I want to read, let me get all my attachments here. Let's see, which... Okay, wait a minute. Let me ask a question. Have any of you been through severe flooding? Somebody has? Steve?
When I still worked for the highway, I helped with the flooding around Columbus in 2008 or whenever it was. And there were just piles and piles and piles of garbage, and things. We would go by and pick the stuff up and put it in trucks to haul it off. We'd come back by, and the houses that we'd already been to would have another pile of stuff out there. It took forever to clean it up, and I mean, the landfill was just full of, just ruined house and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, flooding, we think of the hurricanes and all the tornadoes, but flooding can be almost as destructive, and it is in some cases. Now, we have been in a little bit of flooding. It was one Sunday morning, my sister-in-law called me, and she was just frantic. She said, Donna, Donna, look out the door. I looked out. Things were floating. I mean, the water was probably about up to here. They just had a lot of rain, you know, just the creeks overflowed and stuff. And everything, we seen flower pots floating and, I don't know, toys, swimming pools, and just a lot of different things floating around. And Lanny had his barn out there, and he lost, several equipment type lawnmowers and different things because of the water was, you know, high enough it destroyed it and everything. But that was the closest I was ever been. Jonah was little. You remember that, Jonah? I don't remember. That might have been the same one. I don't know. But anyway, I was scared for him to come out of the house because I was afraid he would run and try and get out of my sight and get in the water and be washed away as well. So I was like, Jonah, you stay right here by me. So anyway, that was the worst. And I don't think I ever felt threatened with that one, but it was quite a sight to see. You look out your door and things are floating around, but the way our house is, it's higher in the front. So I moved my car up and parked it in the front so it wasn't getting destroyed. But you know, when it quit raining, I guess, where maybe it was so dry that it went down pretty quickly and stuff. It wasn't like this where it just keeps on and keeps on and keeps on and stuff. So, but flooding is nothing to take lightly because it can be very disastrous. Okay, I'm going to have Justin to go ahead. We've got some news articles and stuff, and I know some of it's just, you know, it's local news from that area, and some of it, if you guys want to read more about it, you can go on Dwayne Mills's Facebook page and look at it, and that's where we were able to get some of that off of it. But go ahead and show however I had them.
Welcome to the website of Appalachia Reach Out. We're glad that you're here. Our mission is to be simply Christ love in action, and we do that through 4 specific areas. One is education. We love to partner with our public schools here and our resource directors that are in the schools, a variety of things that we do through the area of education. Another area is through addiction recovery. We partner with a number of agencies that are working with families who are walking that journey of recovery and the services that we're able to come alongside and support and help. The third area is community engagement and leadership development. We love working with our local government. We love working with agencies that are working here in the county to love on the families that we love on and to come alongside of them as well. And then the fourth key area of our mission is what we call work and witness teams. We're very passionate about the teams that come and serve alongside of us. And so if you're interested in a trip to partner and serve alongside of us, we'd love to hear from you. So thank you for taking time to learn a little bit more about us. If you're interested or have questions, feel free to email us, call us, get on social media. We'd love to hear from you. God bless you.
Okay. I think that was just their mission, what they do, and that was Dwayne Mills, if you didn't notice that. So he's the one that actually lived in Seymour and, you know, went down there and stuff. And the next one is a news article. I think it's about 5 minutes.
In Central Kentucky, authorities are issuing urgent warnings as the effects from a deadly winter storm earlier this month persist. In recent days, collapsing riverbanks are challenging the ongoing devastation. The storm, which caused catastrophic flooding, has claimed over 20 lives in Kentucky, contributing to a rising death toll across multiple states. Joining me now is Franklin County Judge and Executive Michael Mueller. Judge Mueller, thank you so much for joining us here on Fox Weather. It's been about 2 weeks since this flooding. Share with us how things are looking right now, especially in your community in relation to the flooding and more particularly the concern of erosion of the riverbanks.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you for having me. I just want to say first and foremost, I am very thankful for our emergency management, for our Franklin County Road Department, and we are lucky that we have not had any fatalities. You know, I know Eastern and Southern Kentucky have really struggled with these, but we've been very fortunate. So now what we're seeing is the riverbanks are drying out. The river went down so quickly, I think it dropped 20 feet in 48 hours. So what we're starting to see now is riverbanks that are giving way. And that's where the danger is coming in, because people think because the sun's out, we're out of any danger. But in the last couple, 2, 3, 4 days, we've had, I think, 3 major river slides. I was just down surveying one before I came on camera, and it's eroding a whole road that's going to be closed for a long time until we can get it repaired. So I just urge people to be very, very safe, especially ones that want to get out and see what's going on. There's still a lot of danger out there.
I think that's something that a lot of people don't think of, right? The flooding comes first, and you see that risk. Now the sun is out, and 20 feet in 48 hours, that's an impressive, recession. And then the erosion that you're right comes after that because of how unstable everything is. What are some of the measures that are being taken to protect maybe people's property and some of the businesses that could be along these riverbanks?
So I think that's a great question. So one of the things our local planning and zoning is doing is they're working with emergency management, because what they're really worried about now is any homes that are close to the river. If they have a deck or something like that, it could potentially get sucked down. So I know we did, our planning and zoning had some extensive training the other day. They're going out into the community, any homes, businesses near or along the river, they're inspecting to make sure that, everyone's safe. I think at this point, that's really what we're concerned about. So I'm very thankful for the staff here at Franklin County. And like I said earlier, emergency management, our road department's done a great job of clearing the roads. I think we had up to 6 inches of mud on a lot of our roads. So you can imagine they, were not be able to be traveled upon. So, but even as recent as yesterday, we had a couple cars that went around the barricades and got stuck in mud. And so, we just urge people to stay at home, watch the news, and let us keep them informed instead of getting out and trying to, survey it themselves.
Of course, those barriers are there for a reason. Judge, while I've got you, this was a really tough loss for Kentucky. 20 lives lost. This was, a scenario in which we saw the flooding concerns, and unfortunately it comes to fruition. What are some of the long-term recovery efforts that are being planned for your area and across the county?
So, I think unfortunately a lot of the deaths came to, people that thought they could cross, water.
That's
that
a
was on the
football
roads
field if
already
you
and things
didn't
like that.
notice.
I think the governor and, Team Kentucky did a great job. So we had some instances where people just didn't want to leave their homes. And they said they were going to stay and they were going to be fine. And then on Friday night, we get a call that, they have no water, they have no electric. The fire department did a great job. They had to go in and take materials to them. So, I think the more we can educate the public, we knew the storm was coming. Franklin County is pretty good about knowing, how the river and Elkhorn Creek act. So it's just getting to the people, especially if they're new to the area, maybe bought a house along the river or along the creek, just to educate that, these storms are serious and it can cause, have fatal consequences if, they're taken lightly upon.
Of course, knowledge is power, and I know that's your goal, is to communicate with those around you to make sure that they're staying safe and they know the risks. So we appreciate you coming on to Fox Weather, continuing to highlight Franklin County and Kentucky as a whole, because this has been a really tough stretch for the last couple of weeks. Appreciate your time. That's Franklin County Judge and Executive Michael Mueller.
And the ones that lost their lives was down there in that area where Dwayne Mills works and, serves people. So that was, it's been tough. And they got one of the worst ends of it as far as that goes. And I've got 3 more things that I got off of his Facebook page. That's Dwayne and his family, in case some of you are not up to date on that. And then after that, we'll have a little bit more here. This is their area down there. That heart shows along right there where they was at. Is that it, Justin, or is there one more? That's it, okay. You know, I'm not really sure. It didn't show. I just went on his Facebook page and got some of them pictures, and there's a whole lot more. And what I really liked about this, I really like the way they're all working together. And I watched one of the videos of him and somebody else talking, and it's another church, but they're all working together. They're all working together in this recovery, you know, and I like the way that Dwayne Mills, and of course I know this setting and stuff is different than a lot of areas, but he gets involved in their lives. He gets into the community and into the civic parts of it. He gets involved, so I'm sure he's very well known down there. But he works together with several other churches, not just, you know, the Nazarene churches, and I think it's just wonderful the way that they can work together. And I mean, you think about drug addicts, we have them everywhere. Let's work together to, you know, pull them out of this if we can. I know we can only do so much. You know, it comes to a point, people's got to help themselves a little bit, but we can still show love and do different things. And just the way that he's got his focus on all 4 different areas is really says something to me. I don't know. And also, I did not know this. You guys may know this. Did you guys know that they had flooding in 21 and 22 down there? Did anybody know that? So I don't know if this is there was one video that I saw, and it showed a couple aerial views of it. And it looks like a river flows right through there, and they're kind of just sandwiched in between all that, the mountains and the river. So if it rains very much, it's an area to me that looks like it's prone to that a lot. Have you ever been down there, Pastor? I know you said you knew Dwayne, but has anybody ever been down in that area? You have, Debbie? Yeah. Oh, that's probably not far from where you live, is it? No, not too far. Wow.
I know there's a lot of swinging bridges over in that area.
Is there?
Especially in Allen County.
Okay. Have you actually been to the Martin County where that's all?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I went to a wedding in Allen County.
Okay, okay.
Did that area flood the same time as that tornado hit over in western Kentucky?
I can't tell you, Phyllis, that. Does anybody know? Does it? He might be up on that with being an electrician. Did you go to that?
We went to Kentucky over by a big college.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where it was, but it was right around when that tornado happened. But I remember the rain was so torrential.
Really?
Yeah, it was the hardest rain that I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
And the roadway is just where we were at, so that makes sense.
Did you go to western Kentucky or eastern?
Are you directed? I don't have good directions either.
Well, why I'm asking is because just north of where my sister lives in Hopkinsville, between there and Owensboro, there's a college there somewhere or another. And that's why I was wondering if that's where he's working at on. And whenever after that storm hit and I went to see my sister, I went down 69, I think it is. And anyway, you know, trees are laying every which direction.
Really?
For probably a mile on both sides of the road.
That's it, because it was 69, it was on 69.
Okay, that's south of Evansville.
Yes, sir.
That's about an hour southeast of Lexington.
Oh, is it? Okay. I don't travel like I used to, so I'm not very good at directions.
I was born down that area, so.
Oh, you were? Was you born in, like, close to the Martin County and stuff?
You know where Renfro Valley's at?
No.
I was born about 20 minutes from there.
Really? Okay. Did they used to have a lot of flooding years ago?
A lot of those places, yeah.
Do they?
I took her for a ride over to Cumberland Gap one time, so.
One time and that was enough, huh?
Part of that is the mountains though, because I mean, I've got a big hill behind me, and when it rains, that water comes down. Lawyers fixed a ditch for me, and I
Oh,
went
good.
out there yesterday, and I'm gonna have to have them come out and look at it, because they fixed the place where the water was supposed to go,
Uh-huh.
but it didn't go there, it went up and
Only you, Phyllis, only you.
and it's trying to wash out the crossover from one field to the other. So they're gonna have to, something's gonna have to be done.
Well, don't call me, I can't help you.
Well, I don't expect you to, but I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
In normal weather, you think, oh, you know, because the highway's got a sewer like this, which when it comes a big flood of water, the water goes over the top of the road.
yeah,
It goes through that sewer, but it goes over the top of the road too.
yeah.
But the highway people never come down there when it's, you know.
When you need them.
When there's a lot of water.
Yeah. Well, I don't like to drive through water. I have to know that I can almost see the bottom, you know. Slab Road down here gets it a lot, but, I don't know. Anybody else got anything to say? Okay. I did want to tell you about this flood in, 21 a little bit. It said they got 7 inches, and to me, 7 inches doesn't seem like that much, but I guess if it comes torrential, like you said and stuff, it affected a lot of people back then, and I don't think in this particular one, anybody died, but according to director, what I was getting at, Dwayne Mills is involved in a lot of this, said according to the executive director, Dwayne Mills, the organization helped donate and distribute 200,000 pounds of food and put in 4,000 labor hours while working 30 straight days across the Appalachian region in Kentucky. And like I said, this was back in, this was April, so it's pretty much around the same time frame. And does anybody remember that? He makes mention in here there was so much focus on Texas because something was going on, you know, some kind of disaster in Texas. I think they got, do you remember that? I don't remember stuff like that. But anyway, so there was not a lot of focus on Kentucky at that time, according to what he says. But he said in Inez, Kentucky, which is down in that area, the local ball fields were destroyed by the floodwaters, and organizers were doubtful that they would even be able to have their season. But the ARO, the Appalachian Reach Out, I always want to say outreach, but it's reach out, stopped and helped provide them with new infield dirt and get the fields in shape, and they were able to have their baseball season. So, you know, just little things like that build your name up in the community, and it makes people know who you are and appreciates the things you do. But this one was an interesting article. There was another flooding in 22, and it was in August. So, in its same area. But what I wanted, let me look down here real quick. This one claimed 37 lives, which 4 of them were children, washed away homes and destroyed roads and bridges. National Guard members were there and, you know, airlifted many of the residents. It looks like that they had some stuff like that going on from what I could tell, a lot of people coming to rescue. But Nazarene relief efforts have centered in Perry County, Kentucky, where compassionate ministers leader Dwayne Mills and Greg Wells are organizing a response to the widespread water there. Appalachian Reach Out, a Nazarene Compassionate Ministries center operating out of Inez, Kentucky, is partnering with organizations to help with water and supplies to the residents. And you know, we just come out of December here a short time back, and the money for our Christmas post office, it goes to Compassionate Ministry. So if you do any of the Christmas post office, some of that money may have went to some of the Compassionate Ministries down there. We don't know where it all goes once we give it, but you know, we give it out of a heart of love and pray that God will use it wherever He needs it and stuff. But they're consistently helping people in their community. We are a very, very poor community, and they come in and give a lot of help. I don't know what we would have done without them, and that's talking about Dwayne and them coming. But now listen to this. Maybe some of you knew it, but I did not. Dwayne Mills' ancestors founded Turkey Creek Church of the Nazarene, located in Inez. You knew that? How many of you knew that? Oh, some of you did. Okay. I had no clue. I remember when they were up at Seymour and he got called to go down there, but I didn't remember hearing the story that was where he was originally from. But he said our whole focus is poverty alleviation in rural America, especially in the Appalachians, since we're right in the heart of it. But can you imagine living and working in this all the time? I guess, you know, it becomes a way of life for you, and he's got 4 kids and his wife, and it looks like they're very well involved in it as well. It didn't say much about the kids, but if you're over it, your family's kind of in it too, right? So we just give the Lord for all the credit, Mill said. We try to be faithful with what God has given to us to give to others. So that I just wanted to update you on that a little bit, and there are a couple ways that we can help. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to help. One way, I know some people like to go on work and witness trips, and usually they're like 2 weeks or stuff. They have dates through March through April, and I know you talked about would like to go on a trip sometime. But they're usually just 4 or 5 days in length, and I don't know any details as far as you would have to call the number here or do that. I don't know how to do these little things here, but anyway, there's a number you can call if you're interested in going down and actually being a part of working and helping do whatever they need done. So if you want one of these sheets of paper, Caden is going to pass them out for us. Would you pass them out? If you would be interested in this, raise your hand. It's for anybody that would want to go. Is anybody interested in one of these? Okay. Yeah, and we can get more. We printed out 5. Pastor printed out 5 for me, but if anybody else is interested, Dawn would like one, and who else over here? You want one? We did one year at the district assembly. Go ahead, you tell it. We might need more of these, Pastor. I know. Yes, at district assembly, they was needing diapers really bad for, all the little babies and stuff. And our district church sent diapers down there. Pastor's going to go make some more copies. So how many more do we need? I'll have him. Okay, okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought this would be a great opportunity for people that like to do this but don't feel like you can go for days on end, and I don't think it would probably be as expensive. It doesn't tell me all that, but you'll just have to call and see. But while he's doing that, the other way you can help is all the loose offering tonight will go to that, and Pastor is going to get the address and stuff where we can send it. And if you write a check, make sure you put ARO on the check or whatever. Just make sure you got the Appalachians or something that indicates that that's what you want it to go for. So those are the 2 ways. Yes? Make it to the church, and we'll just make one check for it. I think that always works best and stuff. And then, because we know we're going to get the address where to send it. So there was 2 or 3 addresses, but I told Pastor, I said, you find out for sure which one's the best for us to send it to. So he's going to get a hold of somebody and find out where we would send the money. So anyway, that's, yes, ma'am.
I don't know, you never mentioned it, but, on February 20th of this year,
Uh-huh.
I was actually on the phone with my daughter who lives down in Crothersville, and I said, well, if you need your dad, I'll send him down there. Because it was coming down so hard. And she said, don't worry about me, worry about Kentucky, they're getting money.
Oh,
On that day, February 20th, another 15 perished in eastern Kentucky.
oh no.
And they had an article.
Thank you, Pastor.
It's on WSAZ.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of their stations down there. They also have a place where you can go ahead and donate through this site. And it has some of the things they need, blood.
Mm.
It's just devastating for them to get
Yeah.
contact again in the same areas. So that's just been a couple of weeks ago they got hit again.
Wow. You know,
Yeah, this time it's 15, not all in eastern Kentucky, because there were some reports in other areas. It's just,
well, it makes you wonder. It says in the last days, perilous times will come. I don't know if that's, we've always had floods, we've always had hurricanes, we've always had any of that stuff, but you just never know.
this article, this little part of the article, the governor announced that, on X saying, Kentucky, please add another family to your prayers, as we just confirmed a weather-related death out of Livingston County.
Oh,
We have now lost 15 people, each one a child of God who was missed by their loved ones. So, I mean, it's just,
yeah. I tell you, these disasters, I thought about Florida and all the South Carolina, especially older people. If not this year, but a couple years ago, I got some friends in Florida that I went to college with, and we still keep in touch. But one of the girls' mother was on like oxygen and, stuff like that. And she, with electricity going on and off, it was a really frightening experience for her. And, I had never thought of situations like that until she told me. And I thought, wow, what if you just fail? Lady falls all the time. What if you fall and you need to get to the hospital? Sometimes you can't get past those destructive elements and everything. So, or if, whoever, your husband or wife, something happens, they have a heart attack, how do you get them to where they need to go? It's a lot. It's kind of...
Showed on television, I think, I don't know if it's last week or week before, they used a helicopter to get somebody out, because they had tried to stay, and anyway, they had to actually lift him out of there because they needed to go to the hospital.
Well, at least they was able to get them out. That's good. I didn't mention, too, the other way you can help is by praying. You can always pray to help anybody or any situation. So, I wanted to ask you, Steve and Debbie, last time we talked about the Ukraine war and what's going on over there and how the Nazarenes and stuff. But I've been praying for your friend that you talked about. In fact, me and Lanny, and I did it on purpose. I said, I want to go to Cracker Barrel. And I never did see which one was hers. I don't know if they wear name badge. And of all days, we got a man to wait on us. I know you said it was Anna, but I didn't see anybody. And, of course, I didn't know what she looked like or anything. So I never did see her. But I just wanted to talk to her and tell her that we were praying. Our church was praying for her. Have you heard any more about her? Did she get deported?
We were there the other day, but she evidently wasn't working that day or something. But she has long blonde hair.
Usually in gray.
And usually in a braid. It's kind of a Swedish blonde
Yeah.
color.
Tall and thin and.
For those of you who might have not been here, we talked about Ukraine and Russia and, some of the things that the missionaries go through with that, and they had met a girl up at Cracker Barrel that is our waitress a lot when they go up there, and she was worried she was going to get deported. I don't know, I guess she's not a citizen, but I don't know if you would consider her illegally coming in the country like a lot of them do. But she was worried.
Program.
Oh,
Through Ukrainian people that were coming in a certain, like a college program.
oh yeah.
I think it was she said through a visa program.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't think that would be considered illegal if she come through like that.
Not illegal.
It was temporary, as long as the administration or whoever was in, allowed it to
Oh,
go. So she could have to leave,
yeah,
we don't know.
yeah. Well, oh, was she? Who, Debbie? Well, if any of you do what?
She's very efficient,
Yeah.
very nice.
She told us, I said, well, I asked her, I said, are you gonna try to go through the process and immigrate or whatever? And she goes, well, the way it is right now, and kind of the way she talks, she said, it'd be kind of hard to do, She said, unless I marry,
Oh,
She has a boyfriend, but,
yeah.
yeah, she was really concerned and.
Well, we're thinking that it may be through that USAID organization, maybe. We
I-
don't know for sure.
yeah.
but everything was getting cut in
Oh.
that organization.
Yeah,
And so if it gets cut, she would
be one of,
immediately having to go back unless she does marry.
yeah,
Her parents went to Poland,
yes.
and for whatever reason, she came here.
Mhm.
So they all, left except for some of her other relatives, or some of them may be fighting in the army there.
Yeah,
Well, the Russian army was up to her town.
oh, that's scary. Yeah, we learned a lot of not so nice things last time in our meeting about what Russians are doing. Well, if any of you weren't here when they was talking, this girl, they talked to her about God, and didn't she tell you she didn't know if she believed in God and stuff?
Well, she said, I kind of worship nature and stuff.
Yeah,
It's your typical answer for people that don't really want to talk about it.
yeah.
So.
Well, you know what? God put you in her pathway. Now, how many people's praying for her because of you two? So,
When she left to go another table, we said, well, we'll be praying for her. We be praying for you, and she goes, well, if it does any good.
oh.
So,
Well, at least she's being honest, and I'd rather people be honest that way, and more how to pray and stuff. So, anybody else have anything they want to add before we close out? Yeah.
We lived in Madison, I see the Ohio River flood quite a few times.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how they could get all that water, because there's a really wide place from where the river is up to the first road, First Street. But it would come all the way up there and across First Street and then into the houses like on the first row down there. But this doesn't have anything to do with that. Yeah, it does anyway, but we lived in a little valley in Kentucky one time, and it was a poor place.
Uh-huh.
But it was like the further up the valley you got, the poorer
Yeah.
it was. But there were these two little boys that lived up there, probably about 6 and 8, and it was raining pretty hard, and the river was up. But there's a little creek behind us, and those little boys got washed into that creek.
Oh.
The bunch of men went in to try to get them, and they got one of those little boys.
Oh.
One of them was washed out into the river.
Oh.
It's a terrible thing.
Yeah. Somehow we don't put flooding on the same level as tornadoes and hurricanes and stuff, but it can be, can it? Oh, that's awful.
The problem with that area down in eastern Kentucky too, is just like West Virginia, the mountains come right down to the edge
Yeah.
of the roadway, and there's no flat land
Yeah. Well, that was one of the aerial views I told you in some of those pictures that I was looking at. From the up above, you could see it just kind of come down to a V with the mountains on both sides. And I thought, oh, there's no place where the water to go except for up and stuff. And some of them houses and stuff down there, just, you can tell it's a really poor area. So, you have something to say?
I just think it's interesting that in 1962, the government declared war on poverty in that particular area, and they're probably no better off today. Well, and I think it highlights the importance of the local church.
Yeah.
What the local church really can do in their communities if we take action.
Yeah.
If we allow ourselves to see a need and be moved by it.
Yeah.
And realize that God puts local churches in particular communities for us to serve that community. And we lose sight of that sometimes.
Yeah.
That's part of our mission, is
Yeah.
to serve our communities that we're in. And not, the government can't do it.
You're right. You are totally right on that. Well, and the government's, what do I want to say? We can get close, on hand, and just like them with that girl. You can communicate, you can build bridges with personal contacts and stuff. So the government's not going to do that. They may hand you stuff or give you stuff, but the government's not going to make it easy for you as far as they can't be that shoulder to cry on when you need somebody just to cry, because sometimes you just need to cry, don't you? I'm looking at some of you and you're smiling and you understand that, especially us women, don't we? Okay, anybody else have anything to say? I do want to remind you, Phyllis said the crisis care kits need to be in by the 19th so she can take them to the ladies' retreat. So there's still one out there, and if we need more, just let Phyllis know. Oh, Bible school has officially been put on the map, the calendar. It's March 9th. Or not March 9th, I'm looking at something else here. It's officially June 16th through the 20th with the program on Sunday. So start praying that God will work and people that's got children, we'll bring them in. So that's a ministry in itself, because we have people that don't know about Jesus. And I know some people, that little blonde-headed girl that comes with me sometimes on Sunday morning, she is a VBS product. She started coming through VBS, and of course she doesn't come every week, but anyway. Seemed like there was one other thing I wanted to tell you, and I cannot remember what it is. Oh, I know, for our final devotion, I wanted to read this, and I found this on Dwayne Mills's Facebook page. Somebody had sent it to him, and he said, this is really what I just needed at this point. It says, it's a devotional somebody had sent him, but the Bible verse says, cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. Psalm 55:22. Almighty God, I have great concerns on my heart right now. Today, yesterday, yet I know you are a great Lord who can help me with those concerns, my work, my unfinished products, and my unresolved perplexities. Does anybody have perplexities? Yeah, we all do, don't we? They weigh heavily on my heart. Uncertainty about the future and my inability to solve everything reminds me of my human limitations, and worries about our loved ones and friends occupy my thoughts. How many of you worry about your loved ones? We do, don't we? Help me to cast my burden on you. Stop trying to manage my burdens on my own strength. In this quiet moment of prayer, I deliberately commit each one of my burdens, large or small, into your gracious care. Help me not to snatch them back, Boy, are so bad about that, aren't we? We say, okay, Lord, I'm giving this to you. The next day, we're just as worried about it as we were the moment we handed it to him, or we're trying to figure it out or do something about it, aren't we? And give me an extra measure of your wisdom, your insight, your discernment as I tackle the challenges of this day. Make this a productive day in which I live with confidence that you will guide my thinking. You will unravel my difficulties, and you will empower my decisions. I am ready for this day, Lord, and I intend to live it with freedom and joy. Boy, we get boggled down with life problems so easily, don't we? How easy we get sidetracked away from knowing who God really is and what he wants to do for us and stuff. So anyway, if anybody have anything else to say? Okay. Christian, do you mind praying for us tonight and down there, the Appalachians and stuff? Okay, thank you, dear.